City Council is now in session. Today's date, Monday, December the 6th. Rise for invocation, pledge allegiance. Father, we come before this evening, we pray for the strength that you give us the guidance to grow our city in a way that you be proud of. This time, it's getting colder outside. We pray for all those who may be home alone or sick, and we pray that people looking on one another. These things we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain. Here. Cruz.
Here.
David.
Here.
Winkle.
Here.
Jacobs.
Here.
Oleski.
Here.
DeVries.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Service Director.
He is not here.
Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Auditor. Here. Clerk of Council. Here.
Tonight before you have the City Council meeting minutes dated November the 15th, 2021. Are there any changes or corrections at this time? Hearing none, those minutes are approved as submitted. We also have the Planning Commission meeting minutes dated November the 9th, 2021. Board of Zoning and Building Appeals meeting minutes dated November the 18th, 2021. Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes dated October 27th, 2021. And the Civil Service Commission meeting minutes dated November 22nd, 2021. That will bring us to the lobby portion of our meeting. At this time, if any resident would like to go to the podium, we ask that you state your name and address for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak on any topic you choose. And this time, is there anyone who would like to speak? All right. We will move on to our administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are 3 pieces of legislation on tonight's agenda that I'll be asking for the emergency clause for. On first readings, we have ordinance T-145/2021. It's amending ordinance 5797 for the construction and administration of inspection services for the Mills Road Bridge over French Creek replacement project. We're requesting to increase the amount from $100,000 to $130,000 because of the increased length of time that the consultant will be on site. The project has been delayed because of material availability and delay time for materials to be received due to the current market conditions. I'll be asking to dispense with the readings and add the emergency clause. Also on the first readings is T-146. It is regarding the electric vehicle charging station program through NOACA. That is a project that NOACA is putting out electric charging stations throughout the NOACA region, and we're able to get one of those for free. And there is a deadline, so we're trying to move that project forward. We also have T-131, which is a cooperative agreement with Lorraine County for the replacement of the Case Road Bridge and the adjacent retaining wall, and we're asking to add the emergency clause to that. And as always, it's always good news to declare a rate holiday under prior ordinance. We have the ability to declare a rate holiday when there's some extra money in one of our special funds, and that is the trash collection fee for December. We are no longer going to collect that fee for this December, which means extra money in everybody's pocket for Christmas. So that fee will go back into effect January. So it's short-lived, but we're happy to provide it. On Wednesday, December 8th, there's another coffee and conversation with me here in council chambers from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. At this point, I will make a motion to dispense with the bylaws to give, I'm going to do it together, T-155 and T-156. I'm asking for them to be placed on the agenda under first readings.
Second. It was moved by Booth, sorry, it was moved by the mayor, second by Winkle to dispense with bylaws. T-55, 155, and T-156. Clerk, please call the roll. Discussion bylaws.
Swain. Yes. Booth.
Yes.
Avon.
Yes.
Winkle.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Malinsky.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
It's been moved to dispense the bylaws for 155 and 157.
And, Mr. President, I make the motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing purchase or sale of land.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Booth, to go into executive session. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain.
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Avon.
Yes.
Winkle.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Malinsky.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes. All right, at this time, we will go into recess, to executive session. Good record. City Council is now back in session. Mr. Mayor?
That completes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Engineer?
Forgot we're skipping the SSD tonight. Thank you, Council President. I just want to make, we did open our bids for Center Ridge Sanitary Sewer Extension, and our low bidder was Fabrizi Trucking and Paving out of Middleburg Heights. And they were the low bid at $1,863,324. Secondly, we've finished our permit, our wetlands permit for our Cypress Avenue roadway extension. And we're going to begin final land clearing. So what we did early on was just cut the trees down through the right-of-way position, proposed right-of-way that we have out there. And now we're just going to go in and clean everything out. We have wetlands permission to do so. So that'll clean that up, and we're continuing on with our design. And we should be, I think we put that in our budget for 2022, so we'll be building that next year. Secondly, thirdly, our full depth concrete rehabilitation program for 2021 is complete. All the work on our last street, Nicole, has been complete. I think it was opened up on Thanksgiving Day by the contractor. He was gracious enough to come out or have one of his employees come out and open up the road that day after the concrete had its time to cure. And they'll be coming up back in the spring to touch up any landscaping and mulching that needs to be done at that point in time. And, as the mayor noted, we need to receive 145, doing an increase on ordinance 5797/2021 due to the contract being extended approximately 3 months, again with material acquisition and some slight utility delays at the very beginning of the project. So if we can get that done this evening, that would be great, because we are coming up on the closing of that project. Thank you. That concludes my report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Mr. Engineer, one quick question on the whole. When I drive through there, I see the signs that says no salt.
Yes.
That?
Those signs, when you put down freshly poured concrete, you're not supposed to salt it for the first year. I don't think we even typically salt, Nicole, but maybe at the stop signs we do. Typically, we don't salt secondary roads at all, but typically at stop signs we do. But we don't want any salt on that road because it just eats away at that fresh concrete a lot faster than it would if it had a year or so to cure. So we don't salt any of our new concrete streets for the first year.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Auditor.
Thank you, Council President. Before Council tonight are just a few pieces of financial legislation. T147 to T151, that's for the authorization and approving of fund transfers. T152 is authorizing and approving fund advances. T153 is authorizing the execution of the then and now certificate. And T154 is the appropriation amendment. I would like to ask Council to consider passing all of this legislation with the emergency clause to allow the Auditor's Office the necessary financial resources for expenditure, and also to allow us to promptly close the fiscal year in the general ledger. That concludes my report.
Just on a real quick question. So you're asking for T147 all the way through T154?
Yes, yeah. The majority of those fund transfers are just moving the residual fund balances into the appropriate funds so we can close out the project funds. So that's just year-end cleanup type stuff.
Thank you, Ms. Auditor. We also have the September 2021 financial report, the October 2021 financial report. Under other reports, we have October 2021 water distribution report. We have the October 2021 police department report, November 2020 Parks and Recreation Director's report, and finally we have the November 2021 building department report. Council, that will bring us to recess.
President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I'll make a motion to dispense with recess. Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Maleski to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? That will bring us to first readings. T-145.
T-145, 2021, an ordinance amending ordinance number 5797, 2021, which authorized the mayor to enter into a contract with a consulting engineering firm for construction, administration, and inspection services for the Mills Road Bridge over French Creek, War Mills Road replacement project by increasing the not to exceed amount to $130,000.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings. Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, dispense with the second and third readings for T-145. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency so that the project can be completed and we can avoid any additional potential delays. Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T-145 for the reasons stated. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T-145 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance 5882, 2021.
T-146.
T-146, 2021, PID number 112897, project name District 12, District 3, Nowaka EV charging station, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an electric vehicle charging station program partner agreement with the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, Nowaka.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings for T-146. Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to dispense with the second and third readings for T-146 for the reasons stated. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Move to adopt. Second. Move to add the emergency clause so we can meet the deadlines of NOACA. Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to add the emergency clause of T-146 for the reasons stated. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to adopt T-146 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Swain.
to the mayor, this is going to be available to the public to use for a fee, correct? They have an electric charging car.
Correct.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
if I recall, in the document, it indicates that it has to be open for 12 hours per day for the public.
Correct.
And it appears to have at least indicated in the document, a 5-year lifespan. Or at least that's how long the contract is. I would assume it's longer than that. They say that because that's how long the contract is. And after that, we're responsible for maintenance.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Havens.
while I'll probably be voting for this, I'm not real wild about, quite frankly, going into competition with private individuals who may want to put up a charging station as well. So I also noticed that we're not allowed to make a profit on our charges for this. We have to charge whatever our cost is. Right? So I'm not real wild about entering into what I consider a private enterprise type of situation. We'll vote for it. Free is hard to pass up. But it is a concern. If it's such a great idea, private market probably would have started already installing these things. That's my concern.
Thank you. Are there any comments at this time? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The vote carries unanimously and becomes 5883-2021.
T-147.
T-147, a resolution authorizing and approving the transfer of funds.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Moved by Bruce, second by Molesky, dispense with the second and third readings for T-147. All in favor, say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergencies so that we can allow the auditor's office to have the necessary resources. Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause in T-147 for the reasons stated by Councilman Booth. All in favor, say yes. All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T-147 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments at this time? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution carries unanimously and becomes 1541-2021.
T-148.
148-2021, a resolution authorizing and approving the transfer of funds.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I make the motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third readings for T-148. All in favor, say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I
Mr.
make a
Booth.
motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency so we can allow the auditor's office the necessary resources. Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T-148 for the reasons stated. All in favor, say yes. All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to adopt T-148 with that emergency clause. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
yeah, just a note, it's a good thing that we came in with $323,000 extra. And, according to what we need to do, this will go back and help pay off the debt service, which is a good thing. So, too many times we're asked to provide more money, and this time we're not. So, well done.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky, DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution passes unanimously and becomes 1542-2021.
T-149.
T-149-2021, a resolution authorizing and approving fund transfers.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I'll make a motion to dispense with the second and third reading.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third reading for T-149. All in favor, say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency so that we can allow the auditor's office the necessary resources.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T-149 for the reasons stated. All in favor, say yes. All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to adopt T-149 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution passes unanimously and becomes 1543-2021.
T-150.
T-150-2021, a resolution authorizing and approving the transfer of funds.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I'll make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings. Second.
Moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third readings for T-150. All in favor, say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt. Second.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to add the emergency so that we can provide the auditor's office with necessary resources.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T150. For the reasons stated, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T150 with that emergency clause. Are there any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution passes unanimously and becomes 1544-2021. Okay.
T151.
T151-2021, a resolution authorizing and approving the transfer of funds.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I'll make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third readings for T151. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency so that we can allow the auditor's office the necessary resources and close out the journal entries for the fiscal year.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T151 for the reasons stated. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T151 with that emergency clause in place. Any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution carries unanimously and becomes 1545-2021.
T152.
T152-2021, a resolution authorizing and approve the repayment of fund advances.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
I'll
Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
Moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third readings for T152. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to add the emergency that we can provide the auditor's office with necessary resources.
Second.
Moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T152 for the reasons stated. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It's then moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T152 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution carries unanimously and becomes 1546-2021.
T153.
T153-2021, a resolution to authorize the execution of then and now certificates by the fiscal officer and the payment of amounts due for various purchase orders.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It's moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to dispense with the second and third readings for T153. All in favor say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency so that we can allow the auditor's office necessary resources to pay these items. The services have been provided, the bills need to be paid.
Second.
Moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T153 due to the time constraints just mentioned. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? So moved by Booth, second by Molesky, to adopt T153 with that emergency clause. Are there any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution carries unanimously and becomes 1547-2021.
T-154.
T-154-2021, an ordinance amending ordinance number 5784-2020 of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio, providing appropriations for the period commencing January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
I'll make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
Moved by Booth, second by Malinsky to dispense with the second and third readings for T-54. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
I'll make a motion to adopt. I'll make a motion to add the emergency, we can allow the auditor's office the necessary resources.
It was moved by Booth, second by Malinsky to add the emergency clause in T-154. On that clause itself, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Malinsky to adopt T-154 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. President, I have a question for the auditor.
Yes, Ms. Mike.
What is Board of Building Standards?
That is a state office that we pay for plan review fees to. There's a 1% and a 3% fee that's collected by the building department.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Malinsky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The ordinance passes unanimously and becomes 5884-2021.
T-155.
155-2021. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into an agreement with Cleveland Communications, Inc. for equipment, services, and participation in a 5-city radio system.
Mr. Mayor, before we vote on this, would you like to say a few words about it?
Yes, I will. Over the past several days, we have had our police and fire department testing the system. As you know, the fire department is interested in going into this system. It is one that recently obtained permission from the county commissioners to go up on their tower over at the 911 center, which improved the coverage of that system. The fire department is very happy with the results of those tests that were done, and they are looking to move into that system now. And I had always said that before I bring it back to council, I needed something to change. And we had said that one of the problems that we had with moving forward with it at the time was that we didn't know whether it would work. Well, we do know that now. And so now that's why I brought this forward at this time. The police department is still interested in going with a different system, but with this one, the fire department is interested. And I spoke to the owner of Cleveland Communications earlier today. The agreement that we have is still valid, and he's ready to move forward with it. So what I'm suggesting is we leave it alone and do something with it at the next meeting.
Are there any other comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Smith.
Mayor, will we still get the share of the $250,000 worth of radio grant money? Now that we're doing it later rather than before.
There was a reference to 20 radios that we would obtain
Yeah, it was like
once we signed the agreement.
$64,000 with the radios.
I don't know, I just remember the number of 20. So, yes,
So we will still get that grant money?
correct. We'll get those radios directly from the company.
Any other comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Molesky.
so the police are not looking to go on to this system?
That is correct.
So is there gonna be any guarantees, understanding that things could happen with the radio connections between our fire and police, that going to be able to communicate clearly in situations?
The radios are called tri-band radios, so they're able to receive transmissions from multiple sources. You know, there are communities around us that still use VHF and UHF. So the radios will be able to be programmed to receive those signals, as well as the system that the police department's going on. The only thing is they just have to change the dial to get to the other system. So there isn't simultaneous communication, but it is just simply turning the dial.
So then they would have to then turn the dial back to talk to the police with the
Yes.
inner department.
Correct.
So it's a matter of changing the dial back and forth between an emergency.
Right. There is an attempt for the second time down at the state, down in Columbus, to have some interoperability between the two systems so they could talk simultaneously to each other. The first time that was attempted in the capital budget and it did not move forward, but this is a standalone bill that was introduced recently. I'm not sure where that's going or if it's going to be passed or not, but you know, again, it's not perfect in the sense that they can't talk simultaneously to each other, but the fact that they'll be able to use the same radio and talk to each other is the next best thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Davis.
my concerns are the same as Councilman Lusky, the interfacing between Marks and the Harris system. And from what I can tell, at least they'll be able to communicate, may not be simultaneously, but at least they'll be able to communicate with each other. So that answers my concern.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Yeah, I'll echo the same sentiment. I think back, obviously, a few months ago when we voted on this, I voted no, because we weren't sure if it worked. And now the testing has been completed and we know that it works. I would support something like that. But I just want to make sure that obviously, you know, we're investing our time, our money and everything else into something that's going to be good for our city. And if you're saying that it does and that we can make sure we can communicate properly, I would support something like that. Any other comments?
Mr. President, real quick, Mr. Mayor, do they test it comparable to other systems, how it performs, or is it just by itself?
Well, what they did was they took it into places where the other system didn't work as well. And the difference being they're on the county tower, the other system is not. The county just approved the other system to go on to the tower last Wednesday. So the other system will be on the tower soon. And I would imagine that both systems will work exactly the same once they're both on the same tower. But this system for the fire department worked in all those locations where there were some problems communicating with the other system. So,
Okay, thank you. The reason I asked is because if it doesn't, then it could be a cost, so everybody knows, to business owners and to put antenna repeaters in their business if it doesn't work. Which it sounds like once, maybe we're comparing apples to apples, once you know both systems are on the same tower. I understand that.
yeah, once the other system goes up on the county tower, we will go back and test those locations with that other system and make sure that they're working. But you know, there's only a couple of buildings where it is a little bit of a concern, and I would imagine that goes away once the new device is on the county tower.
Larger structures, steel construction, things of that nature.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. President, so if it got voted down for a second time, would we have that ability to still communicate with the other 4 cities by just flipping a switch similar to the police? Or would it be much more difficult than to communicate with the other 4 cities?
I guess the biggest thing that we would be missing out on if this was turned down a second time would be the 20 radios. You know, we would still have to program some radios to work on that other system because we still need to communicate with those other cities that are on the list, the other 4 cities. So, you know, we just probably wouldn't have as many radios on that system if it was turned down a second time. Thank you. You're welcome.
Other comments? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings us to T 156.
T 156, 2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into an agreement for professional design services for the new police station project not to exceed $850,000.
Mr. Mayor, are there any time constraints on this?
We would like to have this go into effect in January, so we have some time.
Very good, thank you. Second reading, T 128.
T 128, 2021, an ordinance vacating public access to property known as Roosevelt Avenue from 5169 Lernago Road to 33593 Adult Street in the city of North Ridgeville.
T 135.
T 135, 2021, an ordinance amending the NRCO chapter 634 noise control to sound control.
In light of a discussion we had earlier today, there's some more things needed to discuss on this from my understanding. So we are going to send this to the safety committee for further consideration. T 136.
T 136, 2021, an ordinance amending certain sections of the NRCO chapter 476 snowmobiles, off-highway motorcycles, and all-purpose vehicles.
This will also be referred back to safety committee. T 137.
T 137, 2021, an ordinance providing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio for the period commencing January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022.
T 138.
T 138, 2021, an ordinance giving the mayor the authority to enter into an agreement with Isomer Group, Inc. to pay the city's share of the cost for an additional turning deceleration lane and the intersection of Bagley Road and Lorraine Road in an amount not to exceed $61,092.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I've been discussing this with the entity and they are waiting for some final numbers. I thought they would be here by now, and so did they. So I'm going to ask that you send this to the finance committee until we get those numbers, please.
Okay. T 138-2021 will be sent to the finance committee. Thank you. Brings us to third readings. T 131.
T 131, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into cooperative agreement with Lorraine County for the replacement of Case Road Bridge number 0083 and the adjacent retaining wall.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Wingo.
move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add emergency clause for the time constraints the mayor mentioned earlier.
Second.
It was moved by Winkle, seconded by Swank to add the emergency clause to T 131 due to the time constraints. All in favor say yes. All opposed. It was then moved by Winkle, seconded by Swank to adopt T 131 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Wayne,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Haven,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Oleski,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes. The next regular council meeting will be on Monday. Did you have any other-
1548,
Thank you.
2021.
Sorry, I get into a rhythm. All right. Meeting announcements. The next city council meeting will be on Monday, December 20, 2021, 7 p.m. right here in council chambers. There will be a public hearing on T-128-2021 on Monday, December 20th, 2021, 6:45 p.m. here in council chambers. Are there any final comments? This meeting is adjourned.
Surprise.